have a war criminal in the White House. You know, that's not hyperbole.
Thank you very much.
First strike aggression against a sovereign nation is a war crime.
This song I'd like to dedicate to all of you who have been out in the streets in New York City this past week, and those of you who will be in the streets tomorrow and in the following days.
This is what America looks like!
The biggest protest to any convention in the history of American politics. Millions of other New Yorkers, the tens of millions of other Americans, and the billions of people around the world know that you say no to the Bush administration and all of their policies. This song for you. What's past is past, the future's unwritten. And history from this moment forward is yours to make on the streets of New York City. This is House Gone Up in Flames.
During the RNC protests in New York City, it did seem like everywhere you turned, there were people expressing their outrage and their disgust at the direction the country was heading.
We're out here because we want to show the Republicans we're against the war. It's a lousy war and they don't go. They send all the young kids. 950 died, 6,500 seriously wounded, 10,000 Iraqis killed. That's their war for peace and liberation of Iraq. They can stick it.
Only the people's resistance will determine if we live in a new Rome under police state measures and war without end, or if we change the course of history.
I think it's extremely significant that they thought they could scare people away from New York. They thought they could make people leave, and we had estimated between 500,000 and 1 million people out in the streets of New York today, suffering in the heat and standing united with the people of the world, declaring no way to this whole Bush agenda, that there's no way we're going to let this go down in our name. And I think it's really powerful that you had hundreds and thousands of people stick it out until whatever time it is already at night. People came in on red-eye flights from all over the country, and it's a very powerful statement.
My goal of going to New York for the RNC to go there as an activist, filmmaker, is basically to say to the world that individuals can make a difference. I think just by the impact that I have on the people that I'm around, them knowing now that I'm going to New York is having an impact. Because they're starting to see that, oh, wow, he's really going to do this. Oh, he's pretty mainstream, but he's going to go do this. He's really standing up for what he believes in. So, and I think that's the kind of impact that activists need to have now, is to really influence the people around them, to get them to understand that standing up for your rights and marching the streets are not necessarily, reserved for anarchists. It's, these are real common people who are out there who have a passion to change the world for the better, who don't want to see the world succumb to militarism and imperialism.
Excuse me, ma'am, why are you applauding?
Because they're against the idiot that's in the White House, and I have only admiration for the young generation for having the backbone to do what they're doing. Hurrah! Let's get him out of there!
This building, one of my best friends used to live in this building. He doesn't live there anymore. His name's Russell Simmons. A lot of people know him, hip-hop mogul. He owns the top floors there. And he moved out actually on September 1st to a new home, but he still owned the property. And as you can see, because of its location, all the windows were blown out on 9/11. People were hurt in the building. There was debris in his apartment on top of his roof. They're the closest physical residents to the World Trade Center. I asked Russell if I can get into his apartment, and I said, I got this idea, to put an anti-war statement in the windows of your apartment. What do you think? And he was very supportive right from the beginning. But the more important thing is that we all realize that this hole in the ground right here, this horrible tragedy that happened, no one knows exactly why it happened or how it happened or why those buildings fell down. People have their opinions. But the fact is it's one of the main reasons that we've gone on this whole insane war on terror. And, basically what it comes down to, myself, Russell, everyone who's affiliated with the Liberty Street protest, are saying, not in our name. We are not feeling that at all. Here are people who live right here People, I wanted people to know that there's New Yorkers, and the majority of New Yorkers, most likely, who were most affected by this event, this tragedy, do not want this war, are completely against this war. You know, I personally feel it's my responsibility as an American citizen to stand up for what I believe in. And I think most people do, although a lot of people have been beaten into submission or scared by being told it's, you know, unpatriotic when, you know, Thomas Jefferson said himself, you know, the dissent is patriotic. It's one of the most important things in a democracy, is to have dissent.
Colors that you fly, love just one nation, the whole world we divide. You say you're sorry, no, is no other choice. But God bless the people there, no, 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 cannot raise their voice. We can chase down all our enemies, bring them to their knees. We can bomb the world to pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. Whoa, we may even find the solution to hunger and disease. We can bomb the world into pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. Violence brings one thing, Lord, more of the same. Military madness, the smell of flesh and burning pain. So I sing out to the masses, scream out if you're still sane. Woo! To all of us gone crazy, Lord, I sing this one refrain. Put your hands together. We can chase down all our enemies.
Being out at the Republican convention and seeing how many people were out there from so many different viewpoints, you know, and what they were protesting wasn't being a Republican. They were there to talk about issues. They were there to talk about the war, they were there to talk about the environment, they were there to talk about healthcare, talk about education. And they felt like President Bush wasn't meeting those needs, you know. And I think that it's really important that as we go into the future, we don't just limit it to this question of blue states and red states. That's politics of, you know, politics 1.0. We're in politics 2.0 now. And what that is the politics of ideas and understanding that there's issues that are important, and you don't have to just be stuck into the issues that are, you know, quote unquote Republican issues or the issues that are Democratic issues. We have to bring people on both sides of the aisle together to get us moving forward in this country. Right now we're really stuck, you know, and all the billions of dollars that we've spent in Iraq, these things are going to now begin to affect even more than they have what's happening domestically. And so we have a lot of big decisions to make, and it's going to take people on both sides.
We may even find the solution to hunger and disease. We can bomb the world into pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. So we can chase down all our enemies. We can even bring them to their knees. We can bomb the world into pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace.